There are situations in life when a person urgently needs money on loan, when he needs money right now, and if he does not find it, then something irreparable may happen. Of course, you can borrow money, the only question is whether people will give you this money, and if they do, then on what terms. However, when you need money urgently, then you can ignore all sorts of terms. Perhaps people are ready to lend you money not at 1,000% per day, so you should not worry about this. Often, people lend each other money without any interest at all, but they need guarantees in any case, that's the thing. You understand, your word of honor and even your receipts are not a guarantee, but your reputation and even more so some kind of collateral. Now that's a serious conversation. You can apply for money to a bank or to some credit institution that lends money at interest. But keep in mind that the loan must be repaid and that interest must be paid on it, so you need to consider your possibilities in the future, so as not to fall into a debt hole. If you borrow money from your friends, then in principle you can agree on the terms of repayment of your debt that suit you, and on the possibility of its partial repayment by you, depending on your possibilities, and of course about the absence of any interest. You can also agree with them. After all, friends are friends. It is not for nothing that they say that if you do not have 100 rubles, it is better to have 100 friends, or even 1,000 friends who are able to lend you money when you urgently need it. Tell them from the bottom of your heart that you just need money and that you will definitely return it to them, and, what is also very important, promise people that if necessary, you will also help them with money or with something else. It is somewhat more difficult to solve such problems in cases when you urgently need a lot of money, which people you know may simply not have. This is already a more serious problem for you, because not everyone can give you a lot of money, and even banks do not always give you very large amounts of money. Here, your position in society will play a very important role. If you are a respected, serious, responsible person, have a good job and have good reviews about yourself, then, in principle, there will be people willing to lend you money. But if you do not have all this, then you will have to take risks and get involved with high-interest loans that are given to everyone, but far from the most favorable terms. By the way, I remember I already wrote a similar article on this topic. It is called What to Do If You Urgently Need Money. I recommend you read it. In it, I take a broader and more in-depth approach to studying this issue, whereas in this article, I will talk mainly about borrowed money and a loan as the simplest and most reliable ways to quickly find the amount of money you need. When you ask for money, you need to impress a person to gain their trust, then they will definitely help you and lend you the money you need. It is even possible, and there are such cases, that they will give it to you as a gift. This is, of course, possible if the amount you are asking for is small. If they do not trust you, then say that you need money on a receipt and you are ready to give the person a guarantee of the return of this money. The more serious you act, the higher the likelihood that you will achieve what you want. Many people, I don't know if this is their instinct or just the influence of society on a person, like it when they are clearly explained for what specific purposes they will be asked to lend them money. Well, come up with something noble, great, something that deserves respect, to show the person from whom you are asking for money that you do not need it for a bottle of beer or a new phone. Address the person as if your whole life depends on this request. Tell him, "Help me, I need money, I need it urgently, if I don't get it soon, I'm screwed." You see, we are brought up from childhood to help each other. Religion brainwashes us, they brainwash us very much at school, all sorts of works of great classics and now movies drip into our brains, all these external stimuli hammer all sorts of nonsense into our heads, according to which we owe something to someone. For example, to behave as people should, which means helping those who need our help. Therefore, the reaction of most people to very emotional requests associated with higher intentions will most likely be positive. Maybe not for everyone, but for many, life is not a gift at all, and therefore they also sometimes need help, including in the form of financial support. So, today they will help you, and tomorrow, perhaps, you will help them. That's how people think. I don't need your money, so I'd rather ask you to read my article entitled How to Profitably Take Out a Loan, which, like this article, will teach you something useful. And we'll talk about the same thing, about the loan, later. In general, if it turns out that there are no people around you who are ready to help their neighbor, and no one will lend you money, then you will have to go to the bank for a loan. A loan is, of course, not a debt, interest is added to it, but there are fewer problems with it, and with low interest, it is generally wonderful. Take money on credit if you need it so urgently. Why the hell do we need this capitalism if not to indulge ourselves with loans? Just make sure that the bank does not hang anything extra on you, because the lower the interest on the loan, the better. Otherwise, now you will solve your problem with money, but what will you do later, with all your debts? Today you can find a lot of all sorts of loan offers. You can even instantly transfer money to a card on the internet. True, the interest on these loans on the internet is very biting, but this is the very fast money, urgent money that you need so much. Well, what else can friends offer here? Think for yourself. It's good when there are normal friends who are ready to understand your situation and help you with money. But if there aren't any, then what else can you do but take out a loan? Besides, we are talking about urgent money, which a person clearly doesn't need for some trifle, but for something really serious. This means that the current situation requires you to take quick and decisive action, in which a person finds money within a very short period of time. Take out a loan online if you don't want to waste time and discuss the bank's terms and your capabilities with it. Yes, the interest rates will be high, well, and the risks for those people who give you money without knowing anything about you are also prohibitive. That's what business is for, to take risks. That's what fast money is for, to take it quickly. Get the money, solve all your problems, and only then calmly think about how to return this money. You are going to return the money you borrowed, aren't you? While you are pondering this rather piquant question, I suggest you read my article Bad and Good Money, in which you will be able to find several very interesting thoughts, which I generously shared with you in it. In general, loans are not given to all people these days, on favorable, terms. The reason for this is the problems with the return of this money, because of which banks suffer serious losses. Well, you know how it happens, people are like that, you help them, give them money, and even on favorable terms, and then they are in no hurry to return it. Egoism and impudence have never painted a person in a good light, especially a person who really got out of his ass thanks to credit money and forgot about those who helped him with it. Some even believe that banks unfairly profit from the interest that people pay them, that they are parasites of society, and that there is no need to return the loan because they already have a lot of money. Great, then let's start looking at the speck in each person's eye. We are all not without sin. What is the point of reasoning like this if you yourself use the services of those you criticize? You do not like banks, do not go to them for money. It will only be better for them and for you. But if you really need money and need it urgently, throw away all your philosophical thoughts and go to the bank for a loan, which you do not forget to pay back. Banks offer you their services, and you, in principle, have the opportunity not to use them, including you cannot use a loan, interest, which you consider a sin. Only if I were you, I would not be too principled a person, so as not to harm your own interests in this way. Money that was taken on credit saved more than one person from serious problems, and also helped many people to rise in life, for example, to start their own business. So, for some people this way of getting quick money may not suit them, it's their business, and someone in this way solves their current financial difficulties and does not complain about anything and does not criticize anyone. In general, you should not justify debtors, this is wrong, otherwise tomorrow no one will offer you anything, I mean loans, and then you will live on one salary. Wow, it gives me goosebumps, right? I suggest you read another article of mine. It is called What to Do If You Have No Money to Pay the Loan, with the help of which you can learn to solve problems related to loan repayment. Such problems, unfortunately, arise for some people from time to time. It happens that a person simply does not have money to pay the loan and you need to somehow get out of it. Here, my article will teach you how to do this. In difficult situations, when a decision needs to be made quickly and without unnecessary emotions, the more dogmas and stereotypes sit in your head, the more difficult it is to navigate. This is right, and this is wrong, this is possible, and that is not. If you think like this, your problems will only get worse, so do not worry, make a decision that will lead you to the result you need, and not one that will look good to others. When you urgently need money and we are ready to borrow it from anyone, even from your enemy, you should not turn on your internal brakes. Take money and do not think about how it smells. It is important for you to be a practical person, able to get out of any situation. Ask for money on loan, take the amount of money you need on credit, even beg in an underground passage, if it is more convenient for you. The main thing is to solve the problem. I don't care what anyone thinks about you. People are usually very literate when something doesn't concern them, and when it does, they immediately start singing differently. Some say that borrowing money is low. But damn, sitting in poverty and hoping for God, isn't that low? Or isn't it stupid to miss out on opportunities? Why should someone suddenly condemn a person's solution to their financial problems with the help of debt, if half the world lives in debt? Of course, this says something about a certain inability of a person to manage their finances, but these are their personal problems, and not the problems of society. In other words, make decisions that are beneficial to you. The main thing is that they help you solve your problems. Everything else, what is right and what is wrong, should not bother you, because in this world there are no ideal and correct people, there are only those who pretend to be such. In general, I think you yourself see this in numerous examples from life. Well, in addition to all of the above, read my article, How to Live Without Money, from which you will learn a lot of interesting things about money, and also come to an understanding of some very important laws by which they work. Well, that's probably all I wanted to tell you about the opportunities that will help you borrow money. I understand that my thoughts are not as interesting to you now as the money, but these are thoughts about money, about the money that you need urgently and on credit. So now you have something to think about. You understand that your problems in this world are of little interest to anyone, except for those people who are ready to help you solve them for a certain reward. You may think differently, you think that your problems are global in scale, but I assure you, this is not so. Someone can really lend you money, but most people do not need you and your problems. The bank is ready to give you a loan, but on favorable terms, first of all, for itself. So you must take into account the interests of other people when you ask them for something, including borrowing money. If you do not do this, then most likely no one will help you.